Bola Tinubu also listed 8 priority areas for urgent attention and called for collective frameworks that will stimulate a buoyant economy that meets the needs of the poor and vulnerable. The president assured the state governors that the administration will address issues that devalue the lives of Nigerians with a focus on security, economy, jobs, agriculture, infrastructure, monetary policy, and fuel subsidy. Vice President Kashim Shettima has apologized to the Muslim community for his comment regarding the election of the 10th Assembly leaders. During a meeting with lawmakers in the build-up to the National Assembly election, Shettima had said, under the, and I quote, "Under the current dispensation, the worst incompetent Southern Christian is better than the most puritanical Northern Muslim for the presidency of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria." The comment sparked a heated debate, especially on social media. But in an interview with BBC Hausa, Shettima said his utterances were misunderstood and he had no intention of defaming his religion. He said, and I quote, "The comment I made is for the benefit of Nigeria, but was misinterpreted. I received confidential intelligence reports that are not suitable for public disclosure." Shettima said anyone who was hurt by his statement, he apologized as it was never his intention to disparage any religion. Former Emir of Kano State, Muhammad Sanusi II, says President Bola Tinubu started on a strong note by addressing fuel subsidy removal and multiple exchange rate regime. Sanusi, a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), held a meeting with the president on Thursday while briefing reporters at the State House. He said his visit was to show solidarity for his friend who is taking all the right steps as Nigerian leader. He said the first reason was to come and congratulate him formally, but also because he wears many caps. He wears the cap of an economist, so he came there for the steps he has to take to put the economy on a course. Or I quote, "The first reason was to come and congratulate him formally, but also because I wear many caps. I wear the cap of an economist, so I came to thank him he has taken to put his economy on course." The former Emir Tinubu assured him that the federal government will take a closer look at the Nigerian Air Force raid that killed at least 37 heads in Nasarawa State in January this year. A former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has punctured report that he is on the run over allegations of corruption, following the suspension of the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdulrashid Bawa, over his conduct while in office by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday. There have been reports that Abubakar Malami has left the country in a bid to evade arrest and investigation. Abubakar Malami, who hails from Kebbi State, held sway as the chief law officer of the country throughout the 8 years reign of President Muhammadu Buhari. When Abdulrashid Bawa was named as the EFCC chairman in 2021, Abubakar Malami told newsmen that he recommended him based on his competence. However, the suspension of Abdulrashid Bawa on Wednesday has raised dust about the stewardshipness of Abubakar Malami. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency yesterday arraigned 4 hard drug syndicates before a federal high court sitting in Lagos for unlawful importation of banned substances. The defendants who were arraigned before Justice Daniel Osego are Ogunmeru Oluwafunsho, 49, Adewale Adebaite, 42, Adeleke Abdurazak, 43, and Dairo Kwam, 22. They are facing 2 counts bordering on conspiracy and illegal exportation of drugs preferred against them by the NDLEA. The prosecutor, Augustine Nwagu, told the court that the defendants were arrested on March 10, 2023 at the Saku import shed of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos State, during the inward clearance of cargo on an Ethiopian airline flight from Johannesburg, South Africa via Addis Ababa. He said all the defendants conspired among themselves to illegally and unlawfully export to the country 11.90 kilograms of heroin and 500 grams of cannabis sativa. Following their plea of not guilty, Nwagu asked the court for a trial date and also urged the court to remand them in prison till the determination of the charge against them. Jigawa State government says it has targeted 250 visually impaired for free eye surgery. Director, Tropical Disease in the state's Ministry of Health, Dr. Abdulrahman Daura said this in an interview with newsmen yesterday in Dutse, the state capital. He said the exercise, which commenced on June 10 at the Gumel General Hospital, was being conducted in collaboration with the Middle East Clinic Limited, Turkey. Director said the Turkish ophthalmologist Dr. Yasser Gabir strictly supervised the surgical operation, adding that a large number of patients had been treated since the commencement of the exercise. He said the surgery will run up today, hoping to achieve the target of 250 patients, adding that the beneficiaries commended the state government and the Turkish team. The news is coming to you from the studios of Saba Radio. More is after this short break. Stay tuned.
This is news on the hour. Saba Radio FM. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're still on to the services of Saba Radio 104.9 Hadija. Senator Ahmed Abdul Hamid Malamaduri has been appointed as a member of the Senate Committee on Welfare. The 16-member committee, to be headed by Senator Issa Jibrin, is the first to be announced by the newly inaugurated 10th Senate. The function of the committee are to coordinate senators' welfare and organize the sitting arrangement, car parking spaces, and in-house sensitization, among others. Ambassador Malam Maduri, a former Nigerian ambassador to Turkey, is privileged to serve in the Pioneer Committee, which has Senator Darlington Nwachukwu as deputy. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, has paid a total sum of 1,478,416,000 naira to owners of non-JAM CBT centers nationwide for services they rendered during the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. This is contained in a statement by the Director of Public Affairs and Protocol of the Board, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, and made available to newsmen yesterday in Abuja. In a related news, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Corruption ICPC yesterday arraigned Professor Debu Ojerinde, former Registrar, Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, his 3 sons and a daughter-in-law. They were arraigned in a 17-count charge bordering on official corruption, abuse of office, and forgery before Justice Inyang Iko of a Federal High Court, Abuja. The defendants, who were all in court, were arraigned alongside the 6 family companies. Former Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, has condoled with the families of the victims of the halfway demolished Daula Hotel building collapse in the state. The condolence was contained in a statement on Friday signed by the former Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Kano State, Malam Muhammad Garba. According to Ganduje, the incident and the attendant death and injuries are regrettable and a huge loss to the state. The former governor prayed that Allah gives the family of the dead victims the fortitude to bear the loss and quick recovery for the injured. Ganduje expressed regret over the theft in different parts of the state capital. A Kano State Sharia court sitting in Fagge and Al-Luna has remanded one Muhammad Hassan for allegedly beating his mother for refusing to give him money. Muhammad Hassan was arraigned by police on a 2-count charge bordering on using force on his mother and causing havoc. The police told the court that the defendant beat his mother after she refused to give him money and used force to collect the money. The court, presided over by Malam Omar Lawan Abubakar, ordered that the charges be read to the defendant. However, the defendant pleaded not guilty to the charges. Malam Omar Abubakar ordered that he should be remanded in prison and adjourned the case to June 26, 2023. The member who represents Bura constituency in Bauchi State House of Assembly, Honorable Ado Wakili, is dead. The lawmaker died 3 days to the expiration of his tenure in the 9th Bauchi Assembly. He had lost his bid to return to the House as he was defeated in March 18th Assembly election. Speaker of Bauchi State House of Assembly, Honorable Abubakar Suleiman, who announced his death in a statement, expressed shock over the devastating news. The speaker added that Honorable Wakil was a man of great honor, humility, and humor, whom, despite his age, treated everyone as a friend. The statement further disclosed that the funeral prayers of the late honorable member took place at Gwallaga Juma'a Mosque, Bauchi, according to Islamic teaching. Manager of SAPE Microfinance Bank in Saki Ogun, area of the Oyo State, Sola Ogungbe, has reportedly committed suicide over loan facilities in the state. It was gathered that the incident happened on Wednesday at his home in Iseyin local government area of the state. It was also gathered that the victim gave out loan facilities to some of his customers, which they failed to repay back to the company's account. An eyewitness said the victim's wife was called by a staff member of the company because the deceased had not been reporting at his workplace over the loan default crisis. One of the deceased's friends told correspondents that Sola made a mistake by taking his life as he was supposed to have discussed his problems with his friends. Now to international scene. At least 15 people have been killed in central Canada after a truck collided with a small bus carrying a group of mostly elderly people in one of the most deadly road accidents in the country in years. The crash occurred at the junction of the two major roads near the town of Carberry in southwestern Manitoba. The bus passengers had been on their way to Casino. Assistant Police Commissioner Rob Hill, who commands the Manitoba Royal Canadian Mounted Police, said the police had been able to establish that at least 15 people have been confirmed dead as a result of this collision. Rob Hill told a televised news conference that this is a day in Manitoba and across Canada that will be remembered as one of the most tragic and incredibly sad day. An eyewitness said he saw the bus on fire in the grass on the side of the road and rescue teams trying to extricate people from the. That has been the news, but before I go, a recap of the major stories. From the news warhead, Vice President Kashim Shettima apologized to all Muslims over his comment regarding election. Jigawa State government targeted 250 visually impaired for free eye surgery. On the international scene, at least 15 people killed in central Canada after a truck collided with a small bus. That has been the news on behalf of the news department. Our editor, Abdullahi Yawalego Fariwa, our continuing announcer, Zalia Ahmed. I am Salam Tanud Aleman saying good evening.